So before we talk about the policies themselves and what the next couple of years might bring, anytime there is an election, there's going to be 52% of the country that is elated with the results and couldn't be happier. And then we're certainly going to have a whole lot of people that are listening to this that are despondent. So first, when we talk about the policies themselves, let's also talk about the economy that the next president is inheriting. And it is a pretty solid economy, okay? So a couple numbers for you. Number one is that the GDP, or our gross domestic product, is right now projected to come in at roughly about 2.8%, according to the BEA. So we have a strong economy there. CPI, although not exactly at the 2% target of the Federal Reserve, is at 2.6 as of October. Unemployment at 4.1%. And then finally, of all the companies that have reported in the S&P 500, 75% have beat their earnings estimates. So what does it all mean? Number one, the economy is in good shape because our GDP is at 2.8. Inflation, not 100% where we want it to be, but is lower than certainly where it was. Job market is in very, very good shape, and corporate America is in very good shape. So this is the economy in the markets, I should say, which have obviously have been on a tear from 23 and 24. This is what's being inherited. So then the question becomes, okay, what type of policies will be implemented? So let's walk through some of the things that were talked on the campaign trail and find out what could actually come to reality, and then what the impact is going to be on the markets, and of course to you, and certainly to what SHP is looking at and adjusting to. So let's first talk about tariffs. I think tariffs came off, obviously, as very scary, right? Where, okay, we're going to do 60% on China, or this percent on Mexico, or whatever that may be. Most analysts see that as negotiation tactics, as the starting salvo of these unilateral, or I should say more bilateral conversations between U.S. and these individual countries to kind of receive better trade treatment. So long story short, a lot of the campaign talk was sort of negotiation tactics, because tariffs themselves can be very tricky. So a perfect example is soybean farmers. When the original tariff and negotiations were happening in the initial administration, soybean farmers were affected. And some of the tariffs were specifically targeted there. So the idea of a tariff war and a global war, that can get very tricky and can hurt us. Now, we certainly have the strongest economy in the world, so they're feeling the pain too. Certainly do not want to dismiss that at all. But tariffs can be very tricky depending on who's getting impacted, what competing interests are out there. And if they do get implemented, depending on the degree, it's going to put pressure on prices and on the cost of goods. Whether we like it or not, we are an importing country. And we do import a lot more than we export. And we import a lot of goods. And so if these tariffs do go in place, then we could potentially be paying higher costs for these goods.